Well, we have here, just for the heck of it, I have some original Battlefront miniatures German late war infantry in a blister that's the old school blister. I'm going to check and see if there's anything very different about what's in this blister compared to the newer ones we get. Was it packaged differently? Any molds get changed? Okay, so I opened up the box, which, by the way, if you want to see what it looks like without being outright destroyed, they actually had some kind of printing on the inside of the box. So yeah, that's what it looks like when it's not just completely blasted through. They used essentially standard hot glue to seal these, or something similar to it. I have tried to allocate identical miniatures next to other identical miniatures. Unlike the new blisters where we have identicalness of like 3 or 4, if not 5 identical guys, we have 2s. And there's a few guys who are unique. I'm willing to bet some guys just didn't even make it into the packaging for some reason. And you know what's really weird? I'm looking at these guys. Now you can see some of them, they look like they might have an equivalent, but like he's standing there with his legs wide with just standing there. No one else down here matches that. His one leg is lifted off the ground, but other guys' legs aren't. His gun is carried high, his gun is carried low, yada yada. You only got one shooting guy in a crouch pose, as opposed to doubles, and 2 shooting guys. It looks like there's some flash on here, which may actually be the barrels bent backwards. So that's going to be a pain in the butt to fix. Requires some very slow motion work, assuming this is the soft lead-like metal. We get 2 Panzerfaust guys. And you know what? You know what hurts me? This is supposed to be German late war infantry. I don't see any NCOs with MP40. I see no MG42 teams, and they should be here for sure. Look at these guys. Every last dude is a rifleman. I don't see a single MP40 in here. Everybody's either carrying a Gewehr 43 or is carrying a Kar 98K. I'm going to have to go through my collection and find some guys with the MG42 to make this a proper unit for late war. Because right now, these guys, were not for the uniforms they're wearing, these guys are pretty much gear spec'd for early war, like Condor Legion. Barring some Panzerfausts, because Panzerfausts are late war only. But yeah, this is... First of all, we barely have enough for 5 infantry teams. 6 if you want to include the Panzerfaust boys. And yeah, where do we get our MG42s from? They're not in the blister. For late war German infantry, I should be seeing 2 or 3 or 4 MG42 teams. So these original boxes, that's probably why the guys at Battlefront have the opinion they do about supplying you everything you need to run the miniature. They are probably doing it based on someone else's recommendation, you know, where headquarters are separate and weapons teams are separate. Whereas in the new philosophy, they just throw everything in there, which I find enlightening. I have bought other manufacturers, and they do have a tendency to like not include certain kinds of teams when you buy certain kinds of blisters. So given what we're seeing here, I think there has been an evolution in the thought process. Let me just count out how many teams I can make here. There's a team. There's a team. Yeah, that's not even enough for 6, because we take this guy and add him here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spare guy. There is no German formation that uses 5 infantry teams. 4 in a commander, yes. 6 in a commander, yes. But yeah, so I think they're supposed to find and add MG42 units to this. Otherwise, I'm just saying, no, they didn't. This is just a rifle package. They're called late war infantry, but that's just their uniforms. They are spec'd out as just riflemen, and they happen to have Panzerfausts kicking around in there. So if you find one of the old blisters, you may not have what you need to actually fill out your infantry for Flames of War. Just letting you know.